In this session, we will talk about literature search. Mainly, we will talk about uh, literature sources, databases, and search engines, and the queries that can be used for searching literature. Searching for literature differs about what you're some basic things. What are you trying to find out? Try to specify exactly what you need to know. And also it can be categorized as what type of information do you want to find? Okay. Are you seeking an answer to a specific question? Or do you seek an overview of a subject area? Or maybe you're looking for a particular document? And another important question is, why do you need this information? Is it required for a literature survey, for example? So information needs to be comprehensive. But if you require this information for a short essay, for example, limited number of sources would be sufficient. And again, how quickly do you need this information is important. Immediately, we always need information immediately, in fact, and we rely on internet for this purpose. But if you have lots of time, you can seek information from libraries in a more traditional way, and you can also ask for interlibrary loans as well. Where can we search literature on the internet? The first one is freely available collections. They can be either personal ones or institutional ones. For example, here you see Dr. Hustadt's publications here in his own page. So you might have access to them from there and read the abstracts and whatever due to your liking. And also there are some department pages, like the list of publications and pages for each professor, listing their publications as well. And you can download them. Sometimes you find the draft versions of the papers, but they're equally valuable and can help you to conduct your research. The next one is more formal one from the publishers' websites and databases. These freely available collections sometimes direct the searches to publishers' databases as well. It is possible. In the publishers' websites and databases, here you see an example of Springer link, for example, Springer. Within that publisher, you can search for some journals you're interested in. And the last one is the literature databases. These get multiple connections from different publishers and combine them together for you to make a more comprehensive research. Here you see Scopus, I guess. Yes, see the Scopus, and you can search multiple publishers within the same on the same platform, which is more convenient, maybe depending on your study. There are the interrelationship of resources here. The authors submit paper to conferences or journals for peer review. If accepted, the paper is revised by the authors and submitted to the editor, journal editor. If not, of course, it would be rejected, but then the paper is processed to bring it into publisher's format, final format, which is maybe they call it the camera-ready version of the conference papers, for example, depending on the typesetting and layout of the relevant publisher. The paper is then included in the publisher's database so that people can search. It is made available online via the publisher's website, and possibly published in the printed form as well, but this is very rare. But these ones are the most common steps taken. And here the literature databases collect the bibliographic information from several publishers and add additional information, references with links, citation index, so that they can be more useful. And there is a link back to the publisher for full text of papers as well, like Scopus. Okay. These are some popular publishers, especially in computer engineering. We can say ACM's digital library here, you might like it. IEEE Explore, I think you know all of this, but just Elsevier's Science Direct and Springer Link here, and Wiley InterScience, and so on, and many of them, of course. There are many of them. These are just the most popular ones for databases. And these are some, let's say, multiple source search engines, which are the Scopus and the Web of Knowledge. We use them frequently as well. Scopus covers 14,000 journals and proceedings series, including our popular publishers, and Web of Knowledge covers 22,000 journals and many proceedings, like almost 200,000 proceedings, including again the popular publishers as well. There are freely available web search engines with the same purpose. We have Sightseer. Here it has access to many, almost close to 1 million freely available papers in computer and information science. It's pretty interesting. And you can go ahead and search from Google. And Google Scholar is based on scholarly literature on the web. You can use Scirus, I hope I pronounce it correct, like Science Direct and Web Resources. And there is also Windows Live Search Academic. It's an academic search engine. You can have access to article titles, author names, article abstracts, and so on. We have our library page here in Izmir Institute of Technology, where you have access to databases, library catalog, and the journals here. Let's take a look at them. If you want to use the library within campus, there is no problem. You can have direct access. But if you want to use it from outside campus, it means that you need to have your proxy settings made like this and access with your email and password for this is proxy. It's pretty practical, so that you can keep on using the library resources outside campus as well. It's pretty convenient. And here are the databases. Of course, some of them, as you see, there are lots of databases here, like 130 for that moment, but it changes all the time, gets updated. There are some temporary databases accesses as well. And here is the library catalog, where you can look for the books. Some of them are in ebook form, but most of them are in published form, printed form as well, so that you can see where they are located. And there are also the journals. They have, the university has access to some popular journals here. You can also access them, search them in the list, and access them from outside campus as well, as long as you make your necessary proxy connection. Okay. When we compare them, there is an important difference to remember. Library catalogs allows to search for a journal, but not for journal articles. It will be a hard time finding them. You can find the journal, get the access but not for journal articles. Publishers and literature databases allow to search for journal articles but not in the full text journal articles. They are not located there. I mean, they will most probably direct you like this one. Okay, yes, you find them, but they will direct you to somewhere like this one through Scopus. When you click on them, you will be most probably directed to publisher's site. Okay. And web search engines allow to search in the full text of journal articles but have difficulties with their structure. Usually, these ones make the search based on some keywords and author. But this one can help you to access or make a search within what is written in the paper, body of the paper. But be careful, you will have hard time finding what you're looking for, because there will be lots of returning resources depending on your query. So these are more organized, publishers and literature databases, because you make the search on keywords and authors and title. Specifically, they are categorized, and you can be sure that what you get is very useful. But in the web search engines, yes, it is allowed to make search within the text of journal articles, but the results need you need your insight to evaluate the returning results, because there will be lots of irrelevant results as well in your search. Literature databases cover a vast number of journals and conferences, but they do not cover all journals and conferences, and they do not cover, be careful, textbooks, handbooks, collections of articles within a book, so they're not included here. They don't cover usually workshops and similar scientific meetings, and they do not cover technical reports and preprints as well. Okay, these are just for top-notch, well reviewed scientific papers. Web search engines provide much better coverage, where you can have access to all of these, but they typically also return lots of irrelevant material to a query and leave the user to distinguish high quality from low quality material. Okay, I think this is not surprising, because you need to use your insight again to distinguish between what is useful and what is not. And when we try to search about a topic or about a publication, we rely on queries. Search terms might be simple keywords or phrases, or consist of field identifiers, modifiers, operators, and keywords, depending on what you're studying and what you're searching. So, for example, you can look for induction in your search, and if you take it in this brackets, it means mathematical induction. You particularly, you exactly seek for this. And if you put a star here, it means that you're going for a wildcard. Anything has this in it, like inductive, induction, inductiveness, whatever, any variant of this will come, and these are just exact searches for author. This is like, it means that you can interchange some letters here, and soundex can be also used for similar pronunciation, but different, which has different sounds in particular languages. These are also useful for making your queries. And you can also the queries can be constructed from combining several source terms using Boolean operators as well. You see, what you see here is induction and mathematical together. It is ended. Here you have It is or this one or this one you're seeking, and you're seeking for induction but not recruitment here, so you can have a more refined and detailed search in this manner. Okay, and retrieves the records where all of the search terms are present, or retrieves records containing either one term or another present, or both, and not retrieves the records. For example, here in this example, recruitment, anything with the recruitment will not appear in your search. The set of all correct queries for a particular search engine is its query language. Like every search engine has a query language here. Typically, different search engines use different query languages, but these are pretty common and used most widely for queries. And the keywords, only the right keywords will correctly identify useful information in your search. And mode of search is very important as well. If you're doing a narrow search, like particularly you're looking for exactly one record, use a search term which is specific as possible. Like don't look for cell. Instead, you can use cell microprocessor, or you can use many additional criteria here, like publication date, journal, language, the publisher name, so that you narrow your search, and you will most probably get 1 or 2 results. That's it, and hopefully you will get that result, only one. A wide search is done when you're looking for all records relating to a subject. Usually, when you're at the start of your literature search or something like related work part. Here you are looking for all records relating to a subject. You can use trying alternative words and phrases like microprocessor or computer processor or computer chip. And you can try alternative spellings here, judgment or judgment. Okay, both correct, but in different languages. And you can also go for wildcards like gene, star for genes, genetics. Genetically, I mean like to cover a wider area, especially when you're trying to do a wide search. Okay. Conducting a search is done first by constructing a query. You search the databases, starting with the literature databases, then moving towards web search engines preferably, so that you cover all the area you're looking for. You can record all the useful references you came across. Some databases allow export in a format that can be so that those records can be imported in RefWorks or EndNote bibliographic tools, like we will see the example in a few moments. So it would be enough information for citing for someone else to find it again. After having searched for 2 or 3 resources, review the progress of the search. If there are too little relevant sources found so far, maybe you should consider modifying your query because it's not going very efficient. It would be obvious. Okay, here you see, for example, this is from Springer's, as we say here, some databases has support EndNote support here. You see this one, if someone wants to cite this paper, every information will be given here as well, making life easier for us to be imported to EndNote. When we open that file, it would look like this. Like you see, everything is in the output format of EndNote, for example, of whatever platform you're working. Okay, today we discussed searching for literature on the internet. We looked at literature sources, databases, and search engines for this purpose, and how do we construct queries. We already knew, but we just made an overview about this subject.